Hi everyone! Thanks for checking on me. I'm Monica, and it's been a while since my last video for many reasons. The main one being that I've been really busy. So I have an almost 15-month-old and I have a 5-year-old, and me and the baby got sick. We had some kind of pneumonia for a long time, and then I had both of their birthdays and my family visiting and Christmas and events and everything. So my life was really crazy. And now my kids are kind of back on a regular schedule and I'm not really sick anymore, knock on wood. And yeah, January, I actually ended up doing a lot. So I want to do a January wrap-up video. Not just about the books that I read, but I did read quite a few books, and then also all the other things that I was doing. So yeah, for Christmas, I actually got this, which is the Kobo Libra color. It's very pretty, and it has nice buttons on it. It's a color e-reader, and I used to have, well, I do have the Kindle Voyage. I got it about 8 years ago, and then I really liked it because it has haptic buttons to turn the pages, but I always thought I was going to get a waterproof e-reader at some point, and then the ONEUS came out. I thought I would get that, and then they discontinued the Voyage, and they discontinued the ONEUS. They came out with the Color Soft recently, but it's really expensive, and as a person who owns a bookstore, and I love books, and I also just really want to get away from Amazon, so, yeah, I was like, I need to get away from Amazon, and a lot of people recommended the Kobo, and so I got sucked into watching all those videos of people with their Kobo. But yeah, I love my Kobo. I got it for Christmas. It's a little more difficult than just using Amazon. You have to put books onto it and kind of sometimes run it through a program called Caliber and format them, but once you get it on there, they're really easy. I really like the UI on there, and once I had it set up and I was acclimated to it, I was like, okay, well, sorry, I have a cat. Once I got it set up and acclimated, I wanted to read a book on there, and so I chose Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs, which is a really funny title. It's by Caitlin Doty, and I really love her. She's on YouTube. She's a funeral director. She has her own business. She does YouTube. She writes books. She goes and speaks to people. And this book in particular is a book of questions and answers. And it kind of just sounds like her talking, like you being in the room talking to her. So it was really easy to read. I love every chapter comes with these beautiful illustrations that are kind of gothic and creepy but funny and highlight what the question is asking. And yeah, that was fun. It was kind of like a little treat. Every end of the chapter I would see what the new picture would be for the next chapter, and that was really fun. It's pretty short. I read it really quickly. I read her other book called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes about her becoming a funeral director. She was working at a crematorium in California, and yeah, I really love her writing style. It was really funny, and the book is I would recommend it to anyone because it's about death, but it's not really a sad book. It's more of like a fact, and she adds facts and she adds her own humor to it. But yeah, she has another book about death cultures around the world, and obviously as someone who lives abroad, that book sounds really good too, so I'm really excited to pick that one up. Oh, and this month I read some manga. So if you don't know, I am fluent in Japanese. My major was in Japanese. I lived in Japan, studied abroad, had multiple different homestay experiences, and so I taught myself Japanese starting in high school, and I would read manga in English, but it was so expensive to buy the translation, and then sometimes I would translate them in my head, or like, oh, that probably is this in Japanese. So I would start I started reading them in Japanese. And when I lived in Japan, I would buy Betsuma, which is Bessatsu Margaretto, which is like, it was like a magazine, a monthly magazine, and you get like a bunch of chapters of different works in there. And for some reason, that one was my favorite. I always felt like the quality of the stories were really good in that one. So every month I would go to Tsutaya, to the bookstore, and pick up Betsuma. And that's where I found Aoharu Daido, if you've ever heard of that. And also Orange. Those are, I think, both of them have either movie or drama or anime adaptations. I can't remember. But those are really good if you've never read those. Penny! I have a cat, sorry. And yeah, so I used to read Betsuma all the time. And then I ended up finding this manga called Kieta Hatsukoi, like my first love disappeared or something. I don't know how to explain it. But I read it in Japanese, and it's 9 volumes, and I read the whole thing. So even though they're very short, I still count it towards my reading goal because I read them in Japanese, and it's been a while. So I had to catch up on my kanji reading skills, and it was actually very embarrassing. The amount of things that I forgot. But yeah, the story was really cute. It's fluffy. It's technically shoujo, but the main 2 characters are really cute. And there's also a drama adaptation. And the drama adaptation I watched after I read the 9 volumes. And it doesn't cover the whole story. It stops after, like, I don't know, volume 4 or 5 or whatever. Kind of just wraps it up. But yeah, the drama was pretty cute. It's short. Yeah, so one of the main characters is played by Meguro Ren. He is also, if you have Netflix, he's also in My Happy Marriage, which they just did a movie adaptation of. And before I watched the anime adaptation of that. I've never read the manga for that, but the anime was really good, and apparently there's season 2 now, so I have to go catch up on that. But then I watched the movie, and he's in that. And then he's in a group called Snowman, so his song would come on in the drama sometimes. And then the other main character, he's in Naniwa Danshi, which is like, okay, I'm really old, so I used to be a Johnny's fan, and they're not called Johnny's anymore. They're called like J-Storm or Storm Labels or something like that. I'm not super up on what's happening right now, but yeah, so I thought I had never heard of Naniwa Danshi, and what's his name? Michieda Shunsuke. He's the other guy. And I thought I had never heard of them. I was like, oh, they must be a new group. But actually, I had heard of them because I do Just Dance. And last year I got Just Dance Plus. Like I got, I think I did the trial of Plus. And they had that song on there. And I was so excited that there was a J-pop song on Just Dance. Because there's a lot of K-pop on there. But I think this might have been one of the first J-pop songs that I saw on there. And the fact that it was like kind of like related to Johnny's, and yeah, that was really cute. So I really recommend Kieta Hatsukoi, and the drama is really good. And My Happy Marriage, the movie, I don't know. I liked the anime because the anime, I felt like it was so beautiful. It was very well paced, but it also had English subtitles. And the way they speak in that show, they have a lot of, it's like kind of a fantasy story. So they have these words about like dream sight, and these like monsters come out and they call them something. And then it's set in like 1900s, early 1900s Japan. So they speak, there's like, military directors, and they're like, and then there's the emperor, so they speak in really difficult formal Japanese. So with subtitles, it was great. I was following along. It was great. But the movie, for some reason, for me, it didn't have English subtitles, which is fine. I could usually watch things in Japanese. But the fact that the pacing was very slow in parts, and especially the parts where they're talking to the emperor, or it's the emperor's son, and something's going on, and they're talking about the little, I don't know. It was like, okay, I don't really remember the story this well. So if you can watch it with subtitles, that'd be great. But I could not. But yeah, I liked the movie. I liked Meguro Ren in the movie, but I think the fight scenes were a little less believable than, like, I watch a lot of K-dramas, and in Korea, you know, all the men have to go to mandatory military service, and they usually do some kind of martial arts. They either do taekwondo, hapkido, judo, whatever. So in Korean shows and TV, it's usually like they're really actually good at martial arts, so it's believable. But in this one, it was a little bit cheesy. I don't know. And actually, the end has kind of a little scene at the end where they're like, oh, there might be a sequel. And there's season 2 of the anime. So obviously, I'm gonna watch that, and then maybe there might be a sequel for the movie. I'm not sure. Also, I watched Squid Game season 2, and so I was kind of nervous, so I put it off for a long time, because season 1 was just like shocking, you know. But season 2, I think actually the pacing was pretty good for it, and the way the story went was pretty good, and I didn't find it as gruesome, I guess, to watch as the first season. For some reason, I think the games that they were doing were a little bit less grotesque in some parts. So also, they were doing things that were like traditional games that little kids learn at school. And we just had Seollal, which is Lunar New Year in Korea. And so my son came home from like doing traditional game day, and they were learning jegi, and I don't think they do kongi, but they do things like that. There's a game kind of like Squid Game, which is, kind of like hopscotch, that they were doing. And so it was kind of funny watching Squid Game where they were doing jegi, and which is like the thing where you hit the little thing with your foot. And then they came home, and my family came over, my husband's family came over for Seollal, and they were playing gongi, like they brought a bunch of it over. And my husband wasn't good at it, but my sister-in-law was pretty good at it. And then they were trying to teach me, but it's pretty hard. And I was telling them that in America we have jacks, which, they have like spikes on them, so they're like really hard to pick up. So yeah, it was really funny to talk about the cultural things in Squid Game. But also, obviously, Top was in Squid Game season 2, and he's from Big Bang. And as a K-pop elder, I don't know if I'm an elder, but I've been into K-pop since like 2008 or 9. And I like was a huge Big Bang fan. And so it was really weird seeing people finding out about Top for the first time, and like watching people's reactions on YouTube and stuff, because they're like, oh, who's this guy who plays Thanos? And he's like rapping, like, yes, but he's a professional rapper, like he's an actual K-pop idol, and everybody now knows BTS, but Big Bang, like Big Bang walked so BTS could run, like I always thought, oh, Big Bang's gonna get it big and like start going on American talk shows, but they skipped Big Bang and went to BTS being on talk shows and stuff. So my favorite was always Taeyang. He was always my favorite. And a few years ago, Big Bang released Still Life, that song, but they hadn't done anything in such a long time because obviously there's a lot of things went down, but it was actually really nice to see Top acting in something as big as Squid Game. And his character's really silly, over the top, colored hair, and like, speaking English all the time, and it was really funny. And And then I watched a video of Top reacting to, or like talking about how they came up with his character, and he looked really good. It looked like he was doing really well, and that was nice to see. But also, my first K-drama was Coffee Prince, which I watched in 2008 or 9, and obviously it has Gong Yoo in it. And Gong Yoo is my favorite. I love him, and he was also in Squid Game. And so I would go on YouTube and watch people commenting on that and saying, oh, that guy who played the guy who played the game, Dakji, they were like, oh, he should win an award. He's so good. But to me, it's like, you guys, Gong Yoo is like Leonardo DiCaprio, okay? He was in Dokkaebi, he was in Train to Busan, he was in Coffee Prince, he was in everything. Like, he's huge. He's on every advertisement. You walk outside, you see him on billboards, you see him on everything. So, like commercials. So for people who have never seen a lot of Korean dramas or a lot of Korean content, I thought it was really funny that people were like, who's Top? Who's that guy from, Gong Yoo or whatever? So yeah, that was kind of funny. I read another book. I read The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I also read it on my Kobo. And I was like looking for something to read on my Kobo because it's just, I don't know what it is about this device. It's very addictive to pick up and read. And you can, so let me see if I can show you. You can flip it any way and it will, when you're reading a book, and it will orient itself to whichever way you want to read. And then you can press the buttons on the side to turn the page. I also just got the stylus recently, or a stylus, and that has made a big difference. You can annotate, you can highlight in color, and it's just really nice. But so yeah, I read this book, Gentleman's Guide, and I had it for a while, and I think I started it one time and just never got very far. But the book is so good. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and instantly I was hooked by the writing style. She's very funny. Like the prose is very well written, very detailed, captivating. It has a lot of humor, but it also has depth. It was hilarious. It was gut-wrenching. The pacing was really good. I got through it in like a few days, but I was like, I really wanted to finish. But I also didn't want it to be over. I really like the setting, the timeline. It's like a period, kind of thing. And there's pirates, there's, adventure. It's really good. I really like the book. I also read the little short novella that comes right after it, which she calls 1.5 and not a sequel. So yeah. And then I was talking to someone online who said that she knew the author of that book from when they both lived in Boston, and I thought that was really cool. I'd love to meet her. Okay, I also watched another thing on Netflix that was, I watched Love in the Big City. I think it's called that. It's based on a book called 대도시의 사랑법 by Park Sang-young. And the novel, the book, is translated by Anton Her, and I would love to meet him sometime. He's translated a lot of things. But yeah, I think the novel is about, I'm not really sure, I need to read it. But the novel has like this, and then the drama has like every 2 episodes, there's probably 8 episodes, and every 2 episodes are a different little kind of story, but it's following the same character. And I really enjoyed it. Slight spoiler if you don't want to spoiler for this, but like just skip a little bit. But the ending is not very happy. It can't, like, he has all these like breakups, and then at the end it's like, oh, I'm still trying to find love or whatever. So I didn't really I wanted something kind of with a happy ending, and that's not what that is. But apparently there is a movie version of this, and the main actress is from Dokebi, from Goblin, if you've seen that. So yeah, I might watch that version as well. Okay, also in January, I got hooked on a new, to me, but not really new, K-pop group called ONEUS. And I don't know why, but I was like, after seeing Top in Squid Game, I was like, oh yeah, I want to go back and watch a lot of old K-pop videos. And then I saw Jacksepticeye reacting to his favorite K-pop videos, and he was like the same era as me. So he was like, oh yeah, I liked Shiny, and I learned the dance, and I liked Beast. I like Shock by Beast, which is like my favorite song of all time. And he liked FX, and he was just talking about and Big Bang, and he was talking about that, and it made me really nostalgic. And then I was like, you know, I really loved being a fan of like J-pop and K-pop. I loved going to concerts. I loved dressing up. I loved learning the dances. I loved like that. To me, I feel like that is homeostasis for me. My personality is I want to be like fangirling all the time. But unfortunately, I feel like I can't do that very often. So, yeah, I went back and started watching some like Shiny videos, and Taemin is on tour right now, and he went to Mexico, and my friend's there, and she was freaking out about it. But then I was thinking, you know, I haven't really gotten into the newer K-pop, like 4th gen K-pop. I was never, sorry, don't come after me. I was never like a big BTS person. And mostly the reason is like, I feel like I'm too old for these people. But also I watch them, and it's just hard to learn all of their names and learn all of their songs and find out, like, there is a lot, okay? It feels like a lot. And I was like, yeah, I think maybe I'll just give up. Like, maybe I just won't find a new group. But I actually stumbled upon ONEUS somehow. I don't know how. And I'm telling you, every single one of their songs is so good. They're fire. They don't have a bad song, okay? They had 6 members and 1 left, and now they have 5. So it was pretty easy to remember all of their names, and all of them looked pretty distinct. Also, there are websites where it's like you can. This is so cool, you guys. So when I was younger, I couldn't do this, but when you watch a music video and you're like, which one is that guy with blue hair or whatever, you can Google, and then people will put their picture from the video with their name. So you can say, oh, in this video, he looks like this. In this video, he looks like this. Because they change their hair color. They are wearing different clothes. And so in the beginning, when you don't know who they are, it's really hard to remember their names. So that was really helpful. Thank you to anybody who does that. Also, some people on YouTube make those videos where they highlight who's singing. So you can kind of get to know their voice over time. So yeah, I love ONEUS so much. Their fan group is called 2Moon, so I'm a 2Moon now. But really sad because Soho, like one of the main like singers, is enlisting in the army soon, like this month. So I'm really sad about it. But they just had a comeback with I Know You Know, and it's a really good song. And they do like different concepts for the same song. So they'll do like Lit had a song, like a music video, and then they had a Taekwondo version, which was like, it was crazy. And then they do tons of live and stage events, and like all of their costumes are really cool. Their choreography is really good. Their vocals are amazing. They're just so good, okay? So yeah, I think that's about all that I was up to in January. And maybe I'll do another one of these in February, because I'm already hooked on a K-drama right now. And yeah, so yeah, thank you for watching. And also, if you didn't know, I have a website called learntoloveanywhere.com, and it's kind of like my blog. And I've just posted a new thing on there, a new post, and I'm trying to get back into writing. I'm trying to get back into making videos, being consistent. You know, I have my bookstore, I have 2 kids, and life is really crazy and it feels hectic. But I think this month I was focusing on maintaining my mental health. So it was really good for me to read and just listen to good music and kind of fangirl and watch fluffy things. And yeah, if you are feeling kind of overwhelmed, I would recommend any of the things that I talked about that I did in January. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!